the Dabengwa at 79, we are raising $7,900, $100 for every year that Dr. Dabengwa has lived. Simfiselo ubuhle babo Dabengwa, may he live long. Now I'll hand over to him to give us closing remarks. Siyabonga.
I'm under orders not to take long from none other than Mrs. Dabengwa. We sat and, let me say, I decided, after examining my work for the liberation of the struggle, dating back from the days when I joined the National Democratic Party, the NDP, and went through ZAPU until it was banned. In the process, got imprisoned by the Smith regime for making subversive statements during a rally. I proceeded and went to the period when I went for training in the Soviet Union, and the rest of the 17 years that I spent in that liberation war struggle. Came back home, enjoyed a year and a half of freedom, and got imprisoned by the government that I put into power. And recently, as I was turning 79, or before that, during the year, I say to myself, with all that sacrifice and the sacrifice of many others of my colleagues that fell during the liberation struggle, and of course, also taking into account the people at home who found themselves in crossfire or who served prison sentences because they'd done one or two things which were considered unlawful. I said, after all this, what have we achieved? What have I achieved as an individual? And I was not able to get the answer. I looked around other liberation movements in Mozambique, in South Africa, in Angola, Namibia, that went through the same process. And I said, you almost would be able to ask the same question in those countries. Then I said, lest we be misunderstood to have been power-hungry people who carried arms in order to gain power. And to look after ourselves, our families, our relatives, and forget about the values of the liberation struggle and what its objectives were. Let me set up a foundation whose objectives have already been. And thank you very much for supporting the foundation, for blessing this day and making sure that it is a success. But as I said, it is your foundation, not mine. It's just the name, but it is our foundation, all of us. Thank you.